happy Tuesday. Mouth South's preferred day of podcasting. That's the day he records his show. How you doing, man? How's the podcast going? Downtown Sports, if you don't know, link in the description, and he'll tell you all about it.
Yep, Downtown Sports, link is in the description. And we covered NFL free agency, which, by the way, I know NFL free agency officially begins on March 11th, but free agency, the official season, begins tonight. Because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is where NFL teams can begin franchise tagging players. So the NFL offseason for the 2026-2027 season begins right here, right now, live on the Professional Fanatics podcast. Welcome, everyone. Get your comments in. Get all your questions ready to go. The Super Bowl's done, and in 2 weeks later, bang, right into the offseason, right into finding out who's going to win next season, right into finding out where everything comes, Downtown Sports, where sports come home. That's what my episode's going to be about there, and that's what today's episode of The Fanatics is going to be about here. We're going to go through all the top free agents that are going to affect your fantasy football teams. That's what we're going to focus here. We're going to make sure that your fantasy lineups are top motherfucking notch. So in order to do that, we need those supers. We need those Patreon subscriptions. We need you to sign up. We need you to go to professionalfanatics.com. We need you to sign up for the Patreon. If you have dynasty questions, we need you to go into our Discord and get involved. By the way, if you want to get involved in our dynasty team, how many spots left, Rob?
One spot. One lone spot left in the Dynasty League. It should close up soon. We're going to get everything settled by March.
It is so lonely. It has nobody to call its own.
You're thinking that's going to be franchise tagged. First name comes to your mind. You know, George Pickens might be the answer, but they came out today. Kenneth Walker's not going to be franchise tagged. They might transition tag him, but if you don't know what a transition tag is,
not even.
It's essentially a transition tag. Though it's a lower offer, and then he can go and his agent can shop him around. Yeah, so are they just going to try to sign him on the cheap because he's going to cost a lot of money?
Well, Kenneth Walker, just to give you what the numbers are for the franchise tag and the transition tag this year for running backs. Franchise tag is going to be $14 million. Transition tag is going to be $12 million. Kenneth Walker on the open market teams are, and Vegas and anybody is predicting that he's going to get anywhere between 8 to 12 million a year on the open market. So the transition tag is the top of what he's going to get on the open market. Seattle's probably looking to maybe retain him for 8 to 10 million a season. That's not going to happen.
A lot of money too, man. They are.
They do.
Look, I think they have the fifth most, which is scary because the
that is
most,
true.
Since they just won the Super Bowl, $63 million of cap space, which is insane considering the roster they have, and that's partially because their franchise quarterback, guy that just won a Super Bowl for him, Sam Darnold, makes peanuts. Exactly,
and by the way, that contract sheds in 2 seasons, so they're not even going to have to re-sign him. By then, they hope to have Jalen Milroe ready to go. And because he's more athletically gifted than Darnold, they say he has a cannon for an arm. He's just raw and needs to learn how to play NFL football. They're hoping that they can move on from Darnold in 2 years. Yeah, I think Seattle retains Kenneth Walker. I don't see any reason why they would go anywhere else. But as I said on my show, actually, if they don't retain Kenneth Walker, a nice cheaper option might be Travis Etienne.
Yeah, that's a big downgrade for me. And as you know, I've been pretty harsh on Kenneth Walker. I just don't think he's a 3-down back. But here's why they might not retain him, or they're going to have to spend more than they want, because there's a team, I guarantee there's 1 or 2 teams that are going to get enamored with what they watch. They already liked him. You know, obviously everyone loved the prospect that was Kenneth Walker, the measurables, the elite playmaking, the speed. The size, speed, all that stuff. But we just saw him have a pretty epic run, and also Super Bowl MVP. it's known to drive the prices up, right? So his postseason performance, he showed he could carry the ball at least at the load at least 3 games, right? Not a whole season. He didn't do it this year. He's never done it. Well, he's never done it and stayed healthy, I say.
Well, true, but actually, hold on. He's only missed a total of like what? At most, he's missed 4 games in a season. He hasn't torn an ACL. He hasn't suffered any
No, he's
major
not damaged
injuries.
goods, but it's
No,
every
not at
year
all.
he's gotten nicked up. But I think that there's going to be a team that's going to just break the bank, that's going to give him that, let's say $14 million a year for 4 years or 3 years even. And like he's going to take the money because he's a running back and he has to. He's not going to take
why
any
wouldn't you?
hometown discounts. So
no.
in that case, you think Seattle says, fuck it, we're going to pay $4 million more per year and add, 3 years to get him to keep him, or they're going to go the Travis Etienne route. But I don't know, man. Travis Etienne is not the same player. He's a worse goal line back. He's less explosive, has some injury concerns of his own. It hasn't really come to fruition, but he actually comps as a guy that would get hurt, given 250 plus touches.
I agree with that. But if you're Seattle, where do you go? Because, Charbonnet just literally ripped apart. Mouth knows that A.J. Brown is staying. Well, because where else is A.J. Brown going to go? Who's going to take it? Who takes him in a trade, J-Bob? Who? Who takes him?
I think New England would take him just with the Vrabel ties, right? They need a number 1. Like Vrabel does love A.J. Brown. Like that's pretty much been out there for a while now. He didn't want to trade him originally in
what do you give up? And does the money work? Yeah, that nice little money chart. Does the money work?
Yeah, it can always work. There's a lot of stuff, as we all know. I'm gonna get your, as we all know, man. That salary cap is not. It's a fluid situation. It can always be finagled, and they can make moves. People can restructure their contracts.
And by the way, we did also promise. We promised Big Ray, but we also did promise people that did not subscribe to Patreon that. We were going to send Big Ray to poo on your lawn. He has a current list of lawns that he's pooing on. He will be back after he's done taking dumps on those people's lawns. He'll be here real soon to join us to continue this discussion. Continue, Rob.
Patriots have 41 million, so that they have the money. Obviously, they have the money. And here's the one problem you would have if you're making the trade, right? If you're trading A.J. Brown for a second rounder, if you get a second rounder from New England, that's essentially a third rounder. You're getting the back half of the second round. You're getting, what is that, pick 31 in the second round?
Does Kayshon Boutte get thrown? Does Kayshon Boutte or Trey Harris get thrown in that deal as a sweetener?
I think you're meaning Demario Douglas would be the other one. Trey Harris is on Chargers.
Oh yeah. No.
So yeah, Demario.
No. I'm sorry.
It would be Boutte.
No. I'm not. Why did I say Trey Harris? The Patriots rookie, the one they just drafted, that everybody was giving Odell Beckham comps to.
Yeah, they're not trading him. It's they love him. I don't know why I can't think of his name either, because the Super Bowl just ended and we're foggy. I think it's Kayshon Boutte, because Kayshon Boutte they need someone back that can play right away, right? That's what they're looking at.
Yeah, and Boutte did learn a lot. Like, you could actually see playing next to Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte's game improved a whole hell of a lot. Watching Stephon Diggs play, being next to Diggs, you saw Boutte's game improve a whole bunch. So I think Boutte going back to Philly and then letting Devonta Smith be the number 1 guy actually makes a lot of sense. That transition has to happen.
Kyle Williams is who we were thinking of. Kyle Williams would be the guy. I think they would want Kayshon Boutte. So if it's Kayshon Boutte in a second, I could see it working out, right? In a second, but
and that might actually help Philly. Brown. That would help Philly, though. Like, truthfully, J-Bob, that would help Philly.
Yeah, Boutte is a professional. That's what he's shown us, right? And he does a lot of the things. He's nowhere near A.J. Brown's talent, but he's still a younger player. Loved him at LSU. Kind of a forgotten guy there coming out of the draft, but.
And he's got a catch radius that you wouldn't believe. He's got a catch radius you wouldn't believe, and it's time for Devonta Smith to be your number 1. It's time for him to be the focus of your pass offense.
Do you want to keep A.J. Brown on the Eagles? Because I don't know, man. I think it's gross. Like, I think the coach.
Oh, Ray's back from his lawn mission. How you doing, Ray?
This is what we're doing, boys. Sounded like you're talking about A.J. Brown, who should not be in Philly anymore, because they clearly don't click, bro. Sorry. He's talent-wise, ego-wise, not so much.
Big Ray just coming in shooting off bombs.
Well,
Dude,
can you have an issue with the head coach and the quarterback? Like, that's the two biggest things there. One is, it's one thing if it's just one or the other. With both, can that be repaired? I don't know. And I don't know if they want to repair it because Sirianni's an asshole. No offense, Sirianni. Yeah. He's not a likable dude. All the offense
to him. I'm a Giant fan. Sirianni could go jump into the biggest cavernous part of hell and never appear again.
And he seems to have the same sentiment about Jalen Hurts that I do. And the thing is, that's his quarterback. Like, he's not out there pulling a TO saying, that's my quarterback, and crying about it. He's never supported Jalen Hurts. He's always whined about it. And
the Eagles do this every couple of years. They get a franchise quarterback, and then they just give up on him after like 3 or 4 years. Carson Wentz give up on him, go to Jalen Hurts, and now it looks like they're going to give up on Jalen Hurts after this year, and they're going to go find someone else.
What did Carson Wentz do after he got hurt in his MVP potential season? What did he do after that? Nothing. That's your answer.
His next season he got benched after coming back from injury for Jalen Hurts. It was literally returning from injury, then getting benched for Hurts because they didn't want to pay him.
Well, Drew Bledsoe lived the same life, right? Things happen when you get injured, unfortunately.
Here's the biggest question I'll have with you guys.
So there's your big bazinga.
Can Devonta Smith be a number one receiver? Like, his body type is not of a number one receiver, but his skill set is. So is he a number one receiver, and can he deal with playing X receiver? That's the biggest problem. He's more effective in the slot. He's more effective on the move. Can he line up at X and run big boy routes against big boy corners consistently? Not just one game here and there.
But that's why you put Kayshon Boutte in that deal with New England, right? So you could have him be your sacrificial X while Devonta Smith is your number one receiver in the slot, kind of like how CeeDee Lamb is in Dallas.
Yeah, Devonta Smith won the Heisman. There aren't many receivers who win the Heisman. So I'm just saying, I understand it's a long time ago at this point, but at the same time, the dude clearly has a talent. He is very smooth with his game. He's different than A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is obviously the more physical guy because he's just bigger and way stronger. But Devontae, I feel like he has it in him to be able to be the one.
He has that thing that you want in a number one receiver.
Uh-huh.
He has that thing that you want. Now, I want to know what J-Bob has to say about all this because we've been talking and yapping and yapping and yapping.
He
might have tuned out after we said something negative about Jalen Hurts, but I'm interested as well. One last question: who says no to this trade? The Patriots, if it's a second and Kayshon Boutte, or the Eagles? Who says yes? Who says no?
What was the trade again?
Is it a fair trade?
Second.
It's AJ Brown. AJ Brown for a second and Boutte.
It's even. That's even money.
Yeah, because I would say it's even, especially because AJ Brown is on more or less on the back nine of his career. He's still in the he's in the prime of his career right now, but I'd say he's in the back end of his prime. So if you get a guy Boutte who he's trending up, he just needs more opportunity. But especially when you get a second back, that's a big deal. Especially getting rid of that contract on top of that.
It's still a late second, though. It's essentially a third-round pick. It's
right.
It's the same as getting a Raiders third. So
right.
Patriots second pick is pick 62, which is very, very late. That's essentially
late.
The second.
That's an early third, so you need Boutte there to kind of even it out.
Which I think he can. He's shown it. It's just that with the Patriots this year, it was like this. It was sort of like the Bills, which was a lot of NFL teams now. It's just a lot of targets, and there isn't like a true number one. Now, there are teams that have true number ones, obviously, but the Patriots were not one of them, even with Diggs. He wasn't really a true number one.
Godin said over under 500 more career yards for Tyreek Hill. This is right up Mouse Alley because you're very adamant that Tyreek Hill is going to go to the Giants. Now, I haven't heard this from a lot of people. I haven't read this a lot of places. I've only heard this from you, and you're the local New York guy there. You're pretty much into the scene. So
a lot of people are obviously going to say I'm crazy. My co-host said I was crazy today when I mentioned it. But if you're looking at where Tyreek Hill can realistically go, there's a couple of places that jump out the page. One, Seattle, possibly, because they have the cap space for him. Two, the Giants, they could finagle cap space for him, and they might actually give him a 2-year deal. Three, Kansas City does not have the cap space for him. They're about 58 million behind in cap. They have no room to resign him. Anybody that has that idea that, oh, Tyreek is going to go back to Kansas City, that's just never happening in reality. Or four, maybe Tyreek goes to a Tennessee to work with a Cam
Falcons.
Ward and Brian Daboll, maybe in Atlanta. But I doubt that. But I think the most realistic options for a Tyreek Hill would be a Seattle or a Giants, because those are the only two teams that have need for receiver that actually have the cap space to work out signing him to a multi-year deal around Stephon Diggs type money, which is what Tyreek is going to want.
But why wouldn't the Raiders?
I
Why
don't think
wouldn't
he's
the
going to get
Chargers?
that.
I'm with that too. But I'm saying,
Ray, do you think Tyreek Hill is going to fetch like a decent contract? Just there's all the noise, bad teammate, major injury, right? Aging, like there's so many negatives and question marks that go into Tyreek Hill, and yet there is the inherent upside of
season that he played.
Player.
Go on, Mel.
The last full season. Now, before you answer, Ray, I just want you to keep in mind the last full season that he played was the year before this year, where he blew apart his leg, and that was 1,700 yards.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely over on more 500 more, like 500. It'd be different. It was like 1,500, 500 career more.
No,
yards.
The last full season he played was the year he played through that wrist injury. It wasn't that good.
I know. I'm still going to go over.
But 2024, he didn't have a great year.
Plus, hey, real quick, he did come out and say that this will be the first offseason he's locked in. Go fuck yourself, Tyreek Hill. You were on the Chiefs dynasty and you weren't locked in then? What the fuck are we talking about? No, clearly.
No, that's what players say when they have a contract coming up. That's what they say.
No, 100%.
It's also just
right.
that's
the thing is, I actually believe him.
Bad comment.
Right. It's just jargon. Rob, you're right. It's just fucking jargon. That's all it is.
The thing is with Tyreek, I actually believe him. Because he's actually insane. I do believe him. If he says something with all of the crazy stuff that he's said throughout his life and career, I actually do believe him. I do believe he'll go to the Giants only because he doesn't have to be the number one receiving option there, which is another reason why I think maybe the Falcons make sense as well as the Seahawks. Like, those are the three teams that I think he actually has a chance to go to. He doesn't have to be the main show on either of those teams. It makes sense that he goes to any of them.
959 was his yardage total 2024, but he was playing with that wrist injury all year. So the year before that, 2023, was 1,700 yards. That was his last, if you want to call it, fully healthy year. But unfortunately, that was 3 years ago. And it's 3 years, dude. He's old now. And who knows? He has the potential. I got to shout out Matt Galloway here. He says Eagles hope that Smith can do JSN type things as a number one. I don't see it. I don't personally see it in terms of the JSN thing. Got to shout out Galloway, though. I had your boy Tom on the show, Matt. I didn't know you guys were buddies. I guess he's been playing in your league since the inception of it, and he threw that out like 3 hours into the show. He's like, you might know this guy, Matt Galloway. And I was like, what? Blew my mind. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for the invite in your league, asshole.
By the way, shout out to Tom. Tom did a great job. I watched him. Great work. Can't wait to watch more of him.
First time ever being on any show ever. So
can't wait to watch more of him. He's a great addition to the Fanatics lineup. I approve.
Approved. See, mouth approved. All right, let's get to this list, this free agent list we have thrown together. Mouth, your stat guy threw this together for us. And let's get to it and see what we have to say about it. So, first name on the list is edge rusher Trey Hendrickson. Prediction: signs with Chicago Bears. Ray, this is porn for Ray right now. He wants to hear this. He's the biggest Bears fan in the world. While Ray chews and just slobbers over this signing, Mouth, what are the odds he goes to the Bears? He's most certainly not going back to the Bengals, correct?
Yeah, definitely, because the Bengals are just not going to pay him. I'll tell you exactly why he goes to the Bears. It's just a matter of math. Ready? The Bears were 6 million, above cap, right? You're about to get $20 million added to cap. Hendrickson is going to cost about $14 million a year. Is about what he's going to want to command. So if you do the math, he fits perfectly into the Bears budget. This is exactly the player you need. I know you guys were talking about trading for Max Crosby. You don't need to do none of that. You just go get Trey Hendrickson and, rush the quarterback that way. Get yourself a top-rated pass rusher, great run stopper, an elite defender, somebody who's going to lead the front part of your defense and really just shore up your pass rush and your run stopping ability. Ray, I don't see your hands, Ray. I'm getting very concerned.
Yeah, he was tugging down there thinking about Trey Henderson, he's going to be really fresh, guys. He hasn't played a lot of football in the last year.
So this is where they're talking on the radio today. And so one concern I have with Trey Hendrickson is that he's just a little bit older. When I say older, I think he's like maybe a year older than Max Crosby. Crosby's 30. I think Hendrickson's 31. But Hendrickson is not as good against the run. He's not bad, but Max Crosby is elite. But at the same time, Rob, you're 100% right. Max Crosby plays almost not 100%, but he plays as many snaps as humanly possible that he can do compared to Trey Henderson, who he's had injuries. So his body's a little more fresh compared to Max Crosby, who he's a dog. Like if he comes to Chicago, man, I mean, he will literally be able to fucking walk on water here because people will just suck his fucking schlong all day long, including me.
Including you, yeah.
Right? But I mean, at the same time, like ESPN put out trade ideas today or yesterday, and their trade idea for the Bears was, I think it was this year's first, DJ Moore, and I think a third next year. And then we get Max Crosby back with a 5th round pick this year. I wouldn't hate that. The only issue is that I love DJ Moore. I know he's making a lot of money for where he's at, with the Bears receiving core is a pretty strong core at the moment, but we don't know 100% if we get rid of DJ Moore, is Rome or Luther Burden going to really be that true number one? Now, I hope that Luther Burden can be, and I really want to hope that Rome can be, since we fucking picked him 9th overall. But at this point, I'm having more faith in Luther Burden than I am Rome Odunze. Especially, dude, I heard this today. I wanted to fucking puke. They said on the radio that DJ Moore has missed the same amount of games his whole Bears career that Rome did this year. Or I'm sorry, Rome missed more games this one season than Rome or DJ has his whole Bears career. And that goes a long way because, hey, as they say, the most availability is the most, that's the most powerful thing. It really is.
One off, though, right? Foot fracture, like he played through it.
The
so
best ability is availability.
I still believe in Rome.
Right?
I do. I believe Rome can be maybe like a 1B, maybe not a true 1A or a 1, but like DJ steps up. I mean, when Ben Johnson came in, he said, if you don't block, you ain't getting the rock. Well, if you watch the Bears, DJ Moore did block, and he didn't really look like he was that interested when prior to Ben Johnson coming in. So he bought into the whole Bears thing. The Bears.
I mean, did he? Because it seems to me that he only got scant drawn up plays. He never drew the interest of his quarterback outside of structure. Outside of the first 14 plays, he didn't really get Caleb Williams' attention until it became playoff time when it was, let's air the ball down the field. For as much love as you're giving DJ Moore and as much hate as you're throwing on Rome Odunze was included a lot more in the schedule of plays than DJ Moore was. Mm-hmm. I wonder why.
Rome Odunze's advanced metrics this year were just fucking god awful. The eye test was awful. He dropped fucking touchdowns. He looked slow. And I'm kind of a Rome fan. When I say kind of a fan, I didn't necessarily approve of the pick. He hasn't really showed me anything. I don't like Washington receivers as a whole. I think it was he was playing with a bunch of NFL players and Michael Penix. Like, of course you're going to play well in college. I thought he was overdrafted. So one last thought on Trey Hendrickson. I think a great spot would be the Raiders because they're just going to trade Max Crosby, and then you're going to have all this money. They need to have some. I know they're not playing for anything next year. Don't let them fool you. Like, that division's too tough. They're going to have a rookie quarterback. But you need to have someone in there to kind of keep the defense professional. And Trey Hendrickson's that guy. You can pay him a bag of money. That's a good deal.
I don't disagree with that. I just think that he's not in this part of his career that he wants to win. Now, maybe I'm wrong because, I mean, money talks, right? Money always talks for everybody. The Raiders have it.
He needs money, though. He's been so underpaid. The Bengals fucked him in the ass.
That's where I'm saying.
So many years.
We will find out if, like, the Bears offer him just $20 million a year. I'm just a random number for easy math. $20 million a year, and then the Raiders come in at 30. And he goes to the Raiders. I wouldn't blame him at all. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't blame him at all. Take an extra $10 million a year, especially with the taxes there. He'll make more money, this and that. I'll be interested because I feel especially, Mouth, what you're saying, him coming to the Bears, Dennis Allen and him have a history in New Orleans. So that is big thing also. That goes along.
That's why I think that's the other thing I think. Like, A, the projected money makes sense. B, the cap money that the Bears are going to have left over makes sense. C, it doesn't require the Bears to do insane trade dynamics to get the player they need. It really just makes too much sense for the Bears. Dakota's got saying that the NFL told teams not to draft Tyreek, and the Chiefs drafted him anyway, 5th round, choked pregnant girlfriend in college. Yeah.
You know what would be a good spot for Tyreek? The Browns.
Hey, you ever accidentally masturbate to young pictures of your mom?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Him and fucking Deshaun Watson could have some great old conversations and times together.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
But you know what? It's funny as hell because now, tell me if I'm wrong. I probably am wrong when I say this. It might be out of pocket. But the Chiefs I won't say they would not have won not at least one Super Bowl because they would have. You have Mahomes and Reed. But I don't know if the dynasty would have been fully embraced without Tyreek Hill. Just because Tyreek Hill, in his prime, on that team, was next fucking level. I mean, his speed
he was
just, it was a cheat code. I mean, especially when you played Madden with the Chiefs back in those days when they were killing it. You know what I'm saying? Mahomes,
I know,
99,
Ray.
Tyreek 99, and then Travis Kelce, like 95.
We know, Ray.
How many times did they try to replicate Tyreek Hill, too? It's failed every time, you know?
Mouth, it's the last game of the season. Don't hold back. We know.
Yeah.
We know. Waterboy.
Would it be smarter to go for Bradley Chubb over Trey Henderson for the Bears? Now, Bradley Chubb would fetch, it's going to be way less money for Bradley Chubb, but he has a lot more injury concerns. He hasn't been anything. When's the last time he's had a good year, dude? 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Didn't have any good years in Miami.
Yeah, I think his best sack total was like 8, maybe.
You're better off getting Jalen Phillips from the Eagles then.
I mean, I don't mind. Again, the money. If the Bears were to get him, I would not. Okay, breaking tomorrow. Bears sign him 12 to 15 million a year for 3 years. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't love it, but at the same time, I believe at this point, I believe in the coaching staff. So if Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen want him on this team, there's something to that. But at the same time, Rob, to your point, there's a big thing to it as well when you have a very big layoff with your injuries and your production in general.
Well, I mean,
Bradley Chubb and Montez Sweat is not a good combo. Like, that's underwhelming. Right. It's better than what we had, but why are we even doing that? We're spending money on just an average player.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. It's very fair.
Well, for Hendrickson, I agree with Tony Mainville, who put together this list for us. Thank you so much. I said I agree with him. Hendrickson should go to the Bears. Rob said the Raiders. Ray, where do you got Mr. Hendrickson going?
I mean, again, with the Dennis Allen connection, I really wouldn't be shocked if the Bears do get him. It just makes sense. I think it will come down to numbers because the Bears, again, the graphic that Rob put up, the Bears are the bottom of the tunnel hole there. Now Adam Schefter said today they're going to be cutting Tremaine Edmonds. Sorry. So that'll be, freeing up some cap. they'll restructure, Jalen Johnson and a couple other peeps to free up some money. But that's the thing too. So I guess to your point, Mouth, if the Bears were to do that Max Crosby trade, they ain't doing much else in free agency because the money will just be taken up at that point. If they go after Trey Hendrickson, I mean, I still think they'd be able to like sign at that point. Like, as I've seen like some Bears social media people saying like a mock offseason today would be the Bears doing that trade, the DJ Moore trade that they talked about ESPN, and then re-signing both safeties, so Brisker and Byard. That'd be like it for the Bears at free agency. And that's that. And it's like there's too much.
And then you lose Wright, and then you lose Deshaun Wright. Then what do you do? Then how do you block a number one? Then how do you block a number one corner, number one receiver?
With him, I'm just gonna believe in what the coaching staff does. If they think that he hit his ceiling and that he's gonna make more money than he's worth, and they're gonna let him walk, then I'll be fine with that. But of course, there's always that chance as Bears fans, our luck in life, that he leaves and becomes a top 5 corner in the league, and the Bears are just sitting there like, well, and the Vikings are like, well, fuck us, right? We didn't fucking pay this guy who was a fucking dog and a fucking good person, overall, and all those other things that many football players aren't. And yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what they're gonna do with him as well. Mouth, that's a good call.
Addison,
Jordan Addison. Go ahead.
He's not a first or a second. With all the off the field issues, maybe a third, fourth.
Third, I think, is the highest.
I don't know, man.
Especially with those off field.
He's prime for the Bills, bro, because he's cheap, and the Bills don't have a lot of money, so they don't have a lot of draft capital. They have bad luck drafting receivers, not exactly a banner wide receiver draft class, at least not in the range they're going to be picking. So I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense. It would be a second-round pick from the Bills. It wouldn't be a first-round pick. So second-round pick. It's a risky one because of the off-the-field stuff, and I don't necessarily think he's that great of a player. He is a touchdown merchant, though. He has been.
You can get him for a third.
That's the only location.
You can get him for a third.
In both,
you can get him for a third.
In both of your eyes, what doesn't matter. Like, just in your head, the most perfect opportunity for Jordan Addison. What is the highest overall number of receiver that he would be in your eyes? So I'm saying, like,
with Josh Allen. With Josh Allen, 10.
Anybody. Mahomes, I'm saying Mahomes,
wide receiver 10.
That's what I'm saying. Anybody. Name it. If you think Allen,
what do you mean?
The most perfect opportunity in your eyes for the best team. What is the highest possible?
Right. You have to frame the question in a way that makes more sense. So if you're saying this trade, like, okay,
just in general,
if Addison were to go to the
Bills,
saying
where is Addison like ranked as a wide receiver in a best situation? Like, where would you have him in terms of wide receiver, not fantasy, just like in real life NFL? And I can give you a very easy answer. He's Calvin Ridley. Jordan Addison is Calvin Ridley. And what have we seen with Calvin Ridley? He was awesome with Julio Jones next to him, right? Jordan Addison has been awesome with Justin Jefferson next to him. But you give Jordan Addison on a team like what we saw with Ridley going to the Jags or going to the Titans, or in this case going to the Bills, might be okay because they spread the ball around. He is not a true number one. That being said, the Bills, I would do this trade. I would trade for Jordan Addison for a second-round pick because they need something, and he scores touchdowns.
Hold on. I think Addison's a little better than that. I think Addison could definitely be a number one in Buffalo specifically because Khalil Shakir is such a plus number 2 receiver. Like, he's got such good hands, and he is a threat that you have to worry about doubling him near the line of scrimmage. So Addison might be able to win one-on-one as an X receiver going down the field. Like, there might be times where Addison actually gets one-on-one going down the field like that. So you might actually be able to get some matchups like that where Addison can win, and then, he actually gets some 1,000-yard seasons over in Buffalo.
Well, plus on top of that, if the Bills were to add Addison to that whole situation, I mean, I know Dalton Kincaid got hurt at the end of the year, but he's trending up as a tight end. I know tight ends lately in the last couple of years have been less of a learning curve. But like, as from our whole life, pretty much, it's always been a learning curve for rookie tight ends, and he's just trending up. So I'm saying you add somebody like Addison, another year of learning with James Cook, with Khalil Shakir, like, that can go a long way for them.
Yeah, Dakota just said it right there.
Yeah,
and that's why I think Addison's a third. Not
Do
a
you
second.
guys think that he's better than Calvin Ridley was? Like, so they had very similar. They have very similar everything, right? Now, Calvin Ridley didn't necessarily have the arrest, but he did get busted for gambling, so he had that, some off-field stuff. But like Calvin Ridley had a couple years of scoring a bunch of touchdowns, right? It was inefficient. It was super efficient, right? It wasn't a lot of yards. It was a lot of touchdowns. Addison is the same exact thing outside of this season. So who do you think? I think Calvin Ridley was a better player than Jordan Addison. I'm saying, like in terms of the first 3 years of their career.
I think Addison has better
Close.
hands than Ridley does. I think Addison's hands are a lot better than Ridley's. I think Ridley got over on intense speed and being able to burn everybody down the field. I think Addison has actual skills as a wideout.
Yeah, he's just not as physically imposing. He doesn't have. He can't comp with the number one. He's too small, unless he's Stephon Diggs, which maybe turns into Stephon Diggs.
And that's why I think the comp going to Buffalo makes sense. Josh Allen with Addison, morph the player into something else.
Wally, Drake London and Chris Olave on the board. Who y'all draft in full PPR? Wally, I'm not saying Addison's not very good. He is very good. He's not a number one. He's not a number one receiver in the NFL. Like, I'm sorry. He doesn't have the body for that. Like, there's only a couple JSNs out there. He's very good. If I were you guys, I'd get rid of him, though, because he's a headache. He needs to change the scenery as well. So, Drake London and Chris Olave on the board. Who you guys drafting full PPR? Ray, I'm going to toss this to you since you're a big Chris Olave fan. I love both these players, so at least I love them both this year, and I don't know about next year. Depends on where they go. I assume Drake London's going to go higher than Chris Olave, but it'll be close. Who are you taking?
So, I mean, in general, we're just not going to talk about just draft position, which I know is crazy for fantasy, but in general for their fantasy outlook coming up this upcoming season, I still would like Drake London more, just because Olave's had the concussion history. Now, luckily, that didn't pop up this year, which thank God. I mean, other injuries popped up, but the concussions didn't. Which I mean, that was his taters are getting mashed pretty bad early in his career. With Drake London, I just think that I like the bigger body, and especially with the run game. I like with the Bijan to open everything up.
Okay, Kevin Stefanski is the new head coach
in
Atlanta. So if you can get any sort of competent quarterback play, I don't care where Drake London is, he's a value. Because as long as he's not drafted as wide receiver one, he's money. Because I think he will be wide receiver one.
This question was they're both available on the board. We're going to call this mid-second round. It's probably about right. I know Olave is probably a return pick.
I'll go London.
If they're both on the board, I'm taking London.
The only devil's advocate thing I will play, I'm taking London as well. I'm a huge Drake London fan. I was the bigger Chris Olave fan this year just based on where he was going in drafts. But if they're going in the same range, Drake London's just a much better player. Chris Olave is a very, very good player. Drake London has a chance to become, the next breakout. When I say breakout, I'm talking 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, 100.
Drake London is the next. Drake London has a chance to be the next Mike Evans if he plays his cards right.
But here's the thing: Olave is an amazing deep threat, dude. I've had Olave all 3 years he's been in this league. The amount of deep shot balls that were some shit quarterbacks, that if it was just a halfway decent quarterback, even if half of those were connected, all of a sudden he's got an extra 1,000 yards with an extra 5 to 10 touchdowns to his name, just because of both of them overthrown balls. Now London, I know Tez had the same, but London is not as a deep threat.
Both of them are great. Both of them are great. Let's get to number 2 on this free agent list.
Before we do that, Ray, I see you're eating. I gotta do this. Yeah, dude, I'm guessing tacos. It's just I'm just guessing it's tacos. Is it tacos?
Same fucking dude. This is easy to fucking take care of, bro.
Can we see them?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we want to see the meal. Oh my god, those are loaded up tacos.
Don't think just because I got a lot of money, I'll give you taco flavored kisses, honey. Fulfill all your wishes with my taco flavored kisses. Taco, taco, burrito, taco, taco.
Yeah, you know it, bro.
We have.
I say, as a matter of fact, I made my own cheesy gordita
got?
crunches. Is actually what I did.
Ooh,
so you got the
like
crunchy,
that.
the crunchy with some cheese on the flour tortilla to wrap it up. Oh yeah,
That is a
Wrap
nice
it up,
texture
B.
change. George
A
Pickens.
cheesy- a cheesy
most
flour
likely
tortilla.
gonna be-
Yeah, George
most
Pickens, a
likely gonna
cheesy
be,
flour tortilla.
Signing a. That's kind of what he is. Yeah. Hell of a year, though.
Perfect.
Hell of a year. 1,300 yards,
Yeah.
9 touchdowns. Prediction, signs
He's-
franchise tag with Dallas. Now, I think we
Yep,
all know
perfect.
that's kind of a set in stone thing, but the bigger question is, do they retain him or do they tag and trade him? I think tag and trade makes the most sense, although...
Nope, never. Jerry Jones does not trade for an asset that he intends to give away.
Really? Because
Even
it
if
sounds
Pickens-
like it sounds like Kenny Clark is on the trade block as far as I've been hearing.
Intends to trade away. Intends. Kenny Clark could be going away. But here's the thing. Pickens is there. Dak has restructured. CD has restructured. Pickens is sticking around. They're looking to actually not only just franchise tag him, but extend him if possible. They're probably just going to franchise tag him for now. They're probably going to franchise tag him for now just so they get him on the books, and then they're going to look to extend him either now or during the season. They're just probably just getting that out of the way. If they happen to have a very bad breakup and then they don't tag him and something else happens to happen, though, Pickens is probably bound for New England. They would be the only place that would have enough money to sign him.
Here's the question. So they traded a third rounder to Pittsburgh to get his rights, right? So a second rounder is not that big of a gain. If for some reason someone offered, I'm not predicting this happens, someone offered a first round pick, right? A Patriots offered a first round pick, which would be a late first. That's a pretty valuable pick because you get the 5th year option. It's generally, you get a first round pick pretty cheap contract wise. Would they do that for the first rounder? Because the second rounder, I'm guessing no. First rounder, unlikely gets offered, but let's say a team gets desperate enough, falls in love with him, has the money to pay him, is like George Pickens is our X receiver. We're one receiver away. The Patriots, boom. Would Jerry Jones pull the trigger?
Is it the team that would be able to get me in position to draft Lemon?
Probably
well, no, it's that's a top 10, top 12 pick, man, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless it's that, then I wouldn't do it.
So they're going to keep him. But then
Lemon,
the problem is,
yeah.
do they want to have George Pickens on there, a lame duck situation with a guy we saw give up last year?
That's where I'm getting at, man, dude. What the fuck have the Cowboys done since the 90s? Literally, I have a sister.
I am a Giant fan, and I am very happy to see all of this take place because the NFC East is the most clown division in football. It's just nobody's paid attention.
You're in, you're out. You're in, you're out. You're in. Different person, different team.
They're so bad. It is so bad. And every organization in it is just worse than the next. Between Jerry Jones, the Eagles keep it together for the most part. The Giants, I mean, look, the Mara family was so historically bad that the NFL had to appoint someone in the 80s to get them back on track because they spent 40 years losing so badly that the NFL said, you're one of the original franchises. We have to do something about this now.
You mean they rigged the draft for them to get LT back in the day? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, by literally giving the Giants a general manager.
Oh, but that
they installed the GM for the Giants in the 80s. Yeah, that's how bad it got.
So you're saying what the Giants did many, many years ago, what the Cowboys should be doing since
now
the 90s.
Yeah. The NFL needs to install somebody to take over for Jerry Jones. That's how bad it's gotten there.
They won't do it. They can't do it. It will never happen.
Because they're
not yet.
The most valuable franchise all the world. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong with the soccer teams, but I could have swore they overall they're over 10 billion valued, and it's like okay. They used to be, and then their value has slowly been declining and decreasing. Golden State. I think the Golden State Warriors have surpassed them in value now.
Thoughts on drafting JSN in the top 5 next season? It has to happen just because by default. Now he's probably going to be the 5th selection. Unless they re-sign Montgomery, then he'll probably go. Unless the Lions re-sign Montgomery, then he'll probably go ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs. Although I think a lot of people are going to take running back in that spot. He'll be top 5. The thoughts though, I feel fine about it. I think he's a very safe pick. I don't think he has a ceiling just based on the defense Seattle has that the other wide receivers like Jamar Chase has the nuclear ceiling that I don't know if JSN. I think this is JSN. I don't think he'll ever have a better season. You guys think he's capable of putting up a better season than what we just saw?
No, he's getting a number 2 receiver next year. Look at Seattle's cap space. He's getting a number 2. It's just
probably,
who is it?
Yeah. I mean, probably not. And especially, I hit him in 2 out of my 4 leagues, and I picked him 3rd and 4th round in said leagues. So I'm just saying, like,
is it going to be?
Round.
Yep. Is it going to be Tyreek Hill? Is it going to be Mike Evans? Is it going to be Alec Pierce? Is it going to be Juwan Jennings? Which one of the 4 is going to be next to JSN next year?
Well, if it's Juwan Jennings, he wouldn't do anything because
it might be Mike Evans, so he can try to get himself another ring.
We chatted about this earlier, me and Mouth. We didn't talk with Ray about this. You guys think Kenneth Walker stays in Seattle, and how much should they pay him? Just so you guys know, if you're new to the channel, we call him the Tiny Dancer around these parts.
Well, he's upgraded to the Flash Dancer now because, you know.
Yeah, now he's the Flash.
He's gonna have enough money. He's gonna have enough money to throw around.
Where is the Tiny Dancer, the Flash Dancer, gonna be playing, and how much are they gonna pay him? We were discussing 9 to 12 million. I think it's more than that personally, but it's not gonna be like 16 million. It's gonna be probably in that, I think, 12 to 14 million dollar range, which may be too rich for Seattle, but they should suck it up and pay him.
So I don't disagree with everything you just said. It just comes down to the fact that, do they think, because first off, I am definitely in the camp, especially now watching the Bears this year with Kyle Monungai, 7th rounder. Now, I'm not saying like the Bears, like, for instance, because they're not the Seahawks who just won the Super Bowl, completely different situation. But at the same time, like, when you're a Super Bowl winning team, you're going to be losing a lot. That's just how things work. Do you want to allocate so much money to the running back position that is such a volatile position that guys are in and out? So, again, to put up, like, what's to say on the high end, Rob, 14 mil a year, even if it's for 3 years. You know, I mean, it's a lot of money for a running back. Especially, I know Zach Charbonnet just had a huge injury, but you can still pick up some bum to fucking just play or draft late in the draft and just stick them in there until Zach Charbonnet is ready and save yourself money to allocate to other positions that you're going to need. Especially because, like I said, when you win a Super Bowl, it's just in the interval. You have to lose players. You got, like, especially I'm saying for what we're talking about, they lose Kenneth Walker. It's just what happens. Like, you have to lose players and you have to make those hard decisions. And I think
it's gonna be real hard to sell to a fan base that you had to give away the one running back to win the Super Bowl MVP since Terrell Davis. No, that's going to be real hard to sell to a fan base first. Second, I think Seattle might offer Walker $20 million 2 years. Walker might take that to try to win more rings and then go for more money later. That could be a possibility, and then add some incentives as long as that money's guaranteed.
Sure. If they offer him 20 mil per year, of course, like, I'd fucking do that too. But
no, as in 2 years, $20 million for the whole contract. All of that is guaranteed, as in 20 million guaranteed, and then maybe you throw like 2 million as like non-guaranteed money on top of that, and then that might be how you get to 12.
Yeah.
All right, number 3 on the list, first quarterback. One of the only quarterbacks available worth a damn. He's also coming off an Achilles injury, which shows you how bad the quarterback class is. Daniel Jones, the prediction is re-signing with the Colts. Again, damaged goods, man. It's also still Daniel Jones, so that there's that. Mouth, what do you think about Daniel Jones? Is he going to re-sign with the Colts? Is he going to get paid big money? Looked awesome. He looked awesome last year when he was healthy.
You know, the one thing I'll say is this. If you're Indy, that's the one guy you pick him up and you keep having Anthony Richardson watch him, because you want Anthony Richardson to absorb every amount of man that Daniel Jones is, so that could translate into his body and his frame, because the fact that he had to, like, sub out for a play because he was too winded once and then came back in 2 plays later was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And the Colts are still hoping to God that Anthony Richardson or Lincoln or oh my God, the other one.
Notre Dame,
Notre Dame kid. No, not Ewers. Ewers is the Miami quarterback.
Miami guy, I'm sorry, but Leonard
Why?
Riley.
Yeah, Leonard Riley. That's right. Yeah. I was about to say the girl's name that everybody keeps saying. Leonard. So Leonard Riley, one of those two, like they both have to watch Daniel Jones and like get the toughness that it takes to be an NFL quarterback. He was playing on a broken leg for 3 games. And he was still performing at a decent rate even without being able to run the football. He knows how to run that offense. He knows how to run it effectively. He knows how to throw to the receivers in that offense. He can throw it deep. He can get it to – I can't believe I could say Daniel Jones could throw it deep, but apparently in Indy he can. Could never do it as a New York Giant. Fuck me. But there you go.
Ray, would you rather have Daniel Jones or Malik Willis if you're the Colts?
Daniel Jones.
Even with the fact he's not going to be ready to start the year. Like, that's a problem, dude.
Yeah, but we're also talking like now I'm talking not me putting words into their mouth, their words. They view him as a franchise quarterback. So if that's the case, 1 year.
They like him.
I'm just saying 1 year being lost doesn't mean shit. Just saying. I mean, if they actually view him as that. I'm not disagreeing what you said, Rob. I'm not, because you're right. He's going to be gone most of the year. And Malik Willis deserves to start somewhere at this point. He did terrible in Tennessee, but Tennessee's Tennessee. Went to the Packers with a good coaching staff, and he beat the shit out of the Bears and looked good. I mean, some of those throws were fucking awesome. So he deserves to start, but I would still take Daniel Jones because he's shown grit and also just a lot of progression, man, to be honest, because he did not look anything like he did in Indy when he was in New York.
No, because if you put him behind an offensive line that you could block, if you put him behind an offensive line that could actually block his blind side, he doesn't get hit in his back all the time, actually could stand up and make a throw or two every once in a while.
What kind of injury, is there going to be a big injury discount for this, or opposed to what he would have gotten if he didn't tear his Achilles? Is that partially why they're going to do it? Like, how much? We're talking $30 million a year, $35 million a year.
I would say it's in the middle, compared to we'll just say he's going to get Daniel Jones shit, and he was a 1 year deal, whatever. And if he never got injured, he would have really. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. If he never got injured, he probably got over $200 million.
Yeah, he was gonna get his old Giants contract if he didn't get injured. Now he's gonna get Justin Fields money.
That makes sense.
He's gonna get 2 years, $20 million a year. He's probably gonna get $50 million for 2 years, $25 million a year. He's gonna get Justin Fields New York Jets money.
And so, I mean, honestly, though, to your point, though, Mouth, is that if they do that, that means he still has the chance to make that $200 million. He just got to be able to replicate as close as he can to what he was doing prior to injury to get that money again. But to your point,
yeah, but incentive laden to maybe get to the $40 million salary. But do you know what? For a guy like Daniel Jones, that's better because it drives him, gets him up and running and moving, and gets him performing.
Yeah, it will be very
interesting. Number 4, Devin Lloyd. So awesome year with the Jags. Finally showed out. That was the cog in that defense. They won 8 games to end the year. Tough loss in the playoffs, but prediction re-signs with Jacksonville. They need him. Now, in terms of the money, they can afford it. It's not like it's going to break the bank, but I feel like, because his position, middle linebacker, is not exactly the highest paid amongst NFL players, but he's elite at his position. So is it worth it for them to restructure some things, put something else on the back burner to sign a guy that is the leader of this defense?
I said to you straight up, they are not re-signing ETN. I agree. I don't think they're re-signing Travis Etienne. I think they trust Bashal Tootin. I really do. And I think they like that third running back that they have in their system already. That's why they were able to LaQuinn Allen. I think that's why they were able to let go of Tank Bigsby without feeling too hurt about it. So, and by the way, I said this earlier in the show, Ray, you weren't here. But if Seattle were to lose Kenneth Walker, I think that's exactly where Seattle is going to pivot to. They're going to be the ones to end up signing Travis Etienne to an $8 million a year deal.
Yep.
That's because that's $8 million that Jacksonville can't afford to spend because they need to re-sign Lloyd and keep him in the middle of that defense because he was the single reason they made the postseason last year. He was the biggest reason in the middle of that defense. He was the quarterback of that defense, calling audibles, making sure everything was in place. The middle linebacker is the most important position on the field for a defense. If you fuck that up, it's over. Lloyd finally came into his own. Jacksonville finally has the middle piece of that defense set, ready to go. You can overcome bad skill at other positions if your middle linebacker has everybody set in the right place and can call audibles properly and get players set. It's imperative that Jacksonville resigns him. If they don't, they're stupid. And if they don't, that's a guy that Buffalo needs to grab immediately. By the way, every linebacker on this list, if they leave their team and they don't go straight to the Buffalo Bills somehow, Buffalo is dim-witted. Because Buffalo needs
a lot of money,
speed. Though. Well, they need to shed some money and get some speed on that defense. They really have to figure out a way to get some speed in that linebacking core. Because they're too slow. They can't defend the run on the edge. They can't do anything about the run. Everybody criticizes Buffalo. 1 second, Ray. Everybody criticizes Buffalo so badly over their offense. They can't, the wide receivers, they can't. Everybody's so focused on their offense. You know what? If Buffalo could stop opponents from scoring more than 30 points a game, they would win almost every game they play. Josh Allen is going out there consistently scoring 30 plus a game for you.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. Buffalo has to improve their defense.
Oh, of course. I guess the only thing is I'll say about, with this linebacker is that Mouth, everything you said, I definitely don't disagree with. I guess at the same point though, when I watch him, I don't get Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis, Fred Warner. I'm not getting that level. Not saying maybe it's just I'm talking Hall of Fame player, so maybe he's not a Hall of Fame player, but he's a.
But that's how inept Buffalo's linebacking core is. That's how inept they are, bro. That's how bad it is.
Right.
He's Roquan Johnson. Roquan Smith. Sorry, that's who he is. Yeah, that level player.
A borderline Hall of Fame player, but probably not a Hall of Fame player, and that's fine. But that means it's to your point, Mouth. You need those type of players, though. Every player will not be a Hall of Fame player, and every player you win a Super Bowl with is not a Hall of Fame player. There's maybe on each side of the ball a couple, 3 to 4, on Super Bowl winning teams. That's why you win. But you win Super Bowls with players like this, and to your point, he showed that he was a very imperative part to that defense. Now, I guess it just come down to numbers because I'm sort of in that headspace to where I'm not paying middle linebackers huge fucking dollars just to keep him, just same as running backs. And same level. I'm not going to keep them. But at the same time, to your point, Mouth, much more often, the linebacker is the quarterback of the defense compared to what we're talking about for running backs. They don't know shit on the fucking offense except where they're going. Compared to the middle linebacker is much more often the quarterback on the defense. So that does go.
So where's Mike Evans drafted and redraft when he signs in Buffalo? That's a good question.
I feel like Dakota is kind of trolling us with this state thing because it's a Josh Allen laden question.
Yeah, we know how he
probably
feels.
Too high. Too high is the answer for me, but it'll probably be 6th or 7th round.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I guess. 5 through 7 somewhere in there. Still too high.
He's drafted in between. He's drafted in between Josh Allen's first vomiting session before the first half and his last vomiting session before the fourth quarter.
I think he's still.
That's what I'm predicting the ADP.
He's got too much history there.
I get that, Rob.
It's not they're not a competing team. You know what I'm saying? They're fine. They're
easy
and
division, right?
Dakota. And Dakota, he's going to a team that could pay him $20 million. That too.
I was going to say that I think he would really try to get that ring, but I completely obviously forgot that he was on that Tom Brady team. So he has that aspect on his end. It's like, so,
Yeah,
I mean,
he's already got
honestly,
his ring.
No, and he's got the records. I mean, at least his name is in the record book, and it probably won't be changing for a long time. So, in so facto, go get that bag, my man.
Yeah. He's already made his money. He's won his ring, so he can kind of pick and choose what he values the most,
and
which might be a combination of both.
He beat Jerry Rice in history. I mean, fucking sakes, dude. What the hell?
All-timer, Hall of Famer. Number 5, Tyler Linderbaum. He was with the Ravens, pretty elite center. Although centers don't fetch a lot of money in the open market, but predictions, signs with the New York Giants. Mouth, this is up your alley. What are your thoughts on Linderbaum to the Giants?
A lot of the rumors are that he follows Harbaugh. Linderbaum himself's been talking in the media. He wants to go to the Giants. He wants to follow Coach Harbaugh. He's one of the players that in the media has been talking about, like, he wants to go with Coach Harbaugh. He's been a big part of the Ravens run game for a couple of years. He's very good at pass blocking. I believe he was the second best rated pass blocker in the NFL last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Not over the number
I
one,
could be
my friend.
wrong.
And
That's right.
Who was
not over the number one?
Pass protector of the year? I don't know, a little guy named Joe Tooney.
Yeah, that's right.
Hell of a signing.
That's right, but Linderbaum is, I believe he was the number 2 pass protector.
That's amazing
in the NFL.
for a center. That's amazing for a center.
But yeah, he is the man. He would be the person to complete the Giants O-line. Giants, for the first time in 15 years, had a top 10 offensive line. I think for the first time since the 2007 Super Bowl team. This would complete it.
Well, hey, you know what? It makes you feel any better. The Bears were in the same exact boat from the Super Bowl team to now. We haven't had a good O-line since that era. So
yep. And
20 years too.
And the Giants, I think, come in at $7 million under the cap. Centers don't get paid that much money. This makes a lot of sense.
How old is he again? Is he like 31, 32 at most, I think?
No, he's 25, bro.
Damn. Shit. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
he's young.
No,
That's why he's going to fetch a pretty penny.
Yeah. Oh, so I mean,
experience.
This 1,100,000 kajillion% makes sense to he will follow Harbaugh. He loves him clearly. He's going to with Jackson Dart, with a great offense, ready to rock and roll. And he adds
and then Andrew Thomas actually gets to stand next to somebody capable.
Hey, but Rob, do we want to tell him what the real problem is in the room with there? Do we want to tell?
What's that?
A little guy named Matt Nagy. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Matt Nagy. That's not great.
Oh, I've heard. I've heard rumors.
He's been on a lot of championship staffs as a staff member.
I think Andy Reid pretty much proved what with that. They got rid of him, didn't sign him back at all, and took back Eric Bieniemy. Just saying. I like Matt Nagy. He's a good person. I don't want him to fail. It's just I watched him in action and just
I wanted Todd Monken as the head coach.
Yes, you did. I know.
Not
I remember.
John Harbaugh. For a very specific reason that I was afraid that the Browns would hire Todd Monken.
And you were right. You were literally. I remember.
And here I am.
When I was on your podcast, you were fucking saying that because that was right before this all happened. Really, it was like the week before, or that week leading. It was right before.
I was like, but Ray, I got a bad feeling, Ray. And you're like, nah, the Browns aren't going to hire. They're going to hire Jim Schwartz. I'm like, no, I got a bad feeling, Ray.
And your fucking cojones told you the truth, unfortunately.
Dakota Evans wants to be number 1. Too much ball competition in Tampa. I tend to disagree. I know there's a lot of competition in Tampa, but here's the other side of the argument. When he came back from the collarbone, you saw Mike Evans right away be the number 1. Godwin was healthy, quote unquote. Ibuka was playing, right? And you had a full complement of receivers. Mike Evans walked in 9-10 targets a game. So I don't think that's quite I know he'd be more of the number one in Buffalo, but here's the thing. I think he would get less targets in Buffalo than he would get in the Buccaneers just because the Josh Allen experience, right?
Thank you.
Joe Brady spreads the ball around.
Dude,
tight ends, running backs.
Baker has that old style, like Joe Flacco mentality of like, this is my guy. I'm getting him the fucking ball. I'm saying when I bring him.
I have a quick question.
When he went to the Bengals, Jamar Chase, like everybody when Joe Burrow went down, people were like, oh, Jamar Chase, he's fucking done. Me included, because I had him in one of my leagues, and Flacco came in and gave him 25 to 30 fucking targets a game. It was like, oh.
Dakota, I'm just going to tell you something. Outside of maybe 3 wide receiver rooms in the NFL, Mike Evans walks in and is the number one. There's 3 wide receiver rooms in the NFL where he doesn't.
Bengals, Vikings, and Rams.
Seahawks.
Yeah. Bengals, Vikings, Seahawks. Everywhere else, he's the number one.
Yeah, even a spot like the Giants, I could see Mike Evans kind of coming in and maybe
over Puka. Yes.
Okay. No, I'm just asking. That's fair.
Mike Evans is one of the. I think he's a top 5, if not definitely top 10 wideout in history.
No, he is a bona fide Hall of Famer, and it ain't even close. So,
and even at this point, the end of his career, he's playing. Just when he's on the field, he's
injured.
Exactly.
Insanity.
And the injuries he suffered this season are freak injuries. They're not like, maintenance injuries, overuse injuries. It's just the only injury you worry about is the hamstring that he suffered every year since 2020.
Exactly. I literally was going to say hamstring injury, but that's the only one.
It's the same 4 games you expect to lose with Evans every single season. But again, by the way, Dakota, with what money is Buffalo signing him, bro? And okay, he wants to be a number one. He is the number one in every room he walks into. That too. Maybe he goes to Seattle and proves he's better.
We already talked about Kenneth Walker at length, but we can touch on him one more time. So we all think he's going to get re-signed by the Seahawks. I personally think someone's going to come in and throw him a bag, and it's up to the Seahawks to match that. And if it's $15 million a year for 3 years, which it very well could be, a team like the Chiefs, right? Could throw that money at them, and they need it.
No, they can't. They're $57 million.
They're gonna make it work, bro. Travis Kelce's probably gone. They're gonna make it work.
Mouth,
he's not. He's playing again.
Mouth, there's no way you don't understand this. There is actually no cap in the NFL. Teams figure it out. If the owner's willing to pay for the taxes, they'll figure it out. That's why the NFL is funny to me, because there is a salary cap, but at the same time, teams that really wanted to spend the money don't care. They figure it out. They just pay the taxes and take the brunt end of that stick, compared to teams like the Bears. Up until lately, the whole history of the Bears, they never wanted to pay shit. Literally up until the last couple of years. Same difference with a lot of teams.
Well, they need something, and unless they take Jeremiah Love, but I would rather have Kenneth Walker.
Now, Jeremiah Love, he's got Chiefs written all over him at 9.
Yeah, that's literally what I think is happening, unless the Saints take him, which is very possible.
That would be pretty.
Which
funny.
is
saying, like,
very possible.
Chiefs, you're sitting there like, they're Saints. They need more things than that. Mouth,
speaking of the Bills,
I was saying, Rob, just real quick, Mouth. I don't know, you didn't notice at this time, but back when the Bears were drafting 14 and the Rams were drafting 13, and they drafted Aaron Donald, and we drafted Kyle Fuller, I was at the draft. Or no, I wasn't at the draft. I'm sorry, that was a year later. But nonetheless, I'll never forget watching it. I was like, oh, the Rams have a great D-line. We need a DT. Like, no fucking way. Like, they don't need him. That one pick, and the rest is history. Dude's one of the best defensive players of all time.
Rob, you were saying about the Bills.
Alec Pierce, number 7 on the list. Prediction signs with the Bills. This is a perfect spot. This one makes a hell of a lot of sense. I think Alec Pierce is going to be overvalued, though. He's been awesome the last couple of years. I believe it's 900-plus yards the last 2 years. He leveled up as a receiver this year because he was very one-dimensional his first 2 years in the NFL. But, again, love Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati, coming out of college. I like the player. He's made some strides, but is he worth, essentially wide receiver 1 money or borderline wide receiver money? I don't know if I think he is.
Well, I think, me and you spoke about this before the show, Rob, and I'm going to give the world my opinion here. I did have an idea. I gave it on Downtown Sports, but I'll give you guys a little
Shout out Downtown Sports.
live. Yeah, links in the description, by the way. I hate doing my own self promotion. I'm very bad at that. Here and there.
So I just shouted you out, my man.
Thank you, Big Ray. I appreciate you.
I'll put the graph.
Anyway. Oh,
there it is.
That's right. I got to get. By the way, shout outs to Blake. If you want graphics like this made for your business and your stuff, check out Blake. He will leave a comment and he'll get in touch with you. Our media manager could be your media manager too, for a price.
Blake's the man.
Shout outs to Blake. Shout outs to Blake. He'll take good care of you.
He accepts hugs
and money. He accepts hugs and money. So Alec Pierce, yes, he accepts the hugs, and then you got to put the dollars in his back pocket
while I'm hugging him. Got it. That makes sense. Okay.
Yes, that's how it works. That's how it works. So Alec Pierce going to Buffalo. I still don't think Buffalo has enough coins to sign the guy. What makes sense is Indy keeping him and then dropping Pittman. And then I think a wide receiver needy team like the Steelers, who have a little bit of dough to spend on a guy like Pittman, who is on the last year of his deal, who can be released because there's no guaranteed money on his deal, and the cap hit for the Colts isn't so bad if they release Pittman now. Drop him, grab the Steelers could grab Pittman up for cheap on a couple of bad seasons, put him aside Metcalf, and that's almost perfect for Aaron Rodgers, who I think is going to stick around. Metcalf and Pittman, along with Calvin Austin, Freiermuth, and then you actually get to see what you have with Caleb Johnson along with Jaylen Warren.
Mal, do you think that McCarthy put in a call to Rodgers before he even bothered talking to the Pittsburgh?
I think McCarthy did that when Rodgers was on one of his ayahuasca trips.
That makes sense.
Got in there before.
Yeah, no, but to your point, when he was high off his ass, he's like, "Hey, Ron, Ron, you hear me? Yeah.
Hey, Ron,
what's up, brother? Hey, if I ever come back, maybe 5 years down the road, if I come back, I need you as my quarterback. Coach, I got you, man.
Gotta pull that up. The phone call went a little bit something like this.
They're all high. They weren't talking.
No.
I have a great destination for Alec Pierce. This is perfect. I think Alec Pierce to the Cowboys is ideal if they want to sign a tag and trade Pickens, because Alec Pierce is exactly what they need outside, opposite of CeeDee Lamb, because he is that true X receiver, field stretcher. We saw it with Michael Gallup for years, right? He is just souped up Michael Gallup. And I think that's, if they want to go that route and not play with the George Pickens emotional roller coaster and all that bullshit, that is the spot. Because you get Alec Pierce for way cheaper than George Pickens. That's actually affordable. So I actually like that route. Now, is it going to happen? Probably not, but I like that a lot.
I mean, but then again, this is Jerry Jones. He's dealt with Dez Bryant. You think George Pickens is anything compared to Dez Bryant? No. He's dealt with Dez Bryant and Terrell Owens.
I could also see Seattle, though, like you guys were talking earlier. I could see that being a spot for him because, as much as JSN stretches the field, like as we've all talked about, that's why he's elite. He's all over the field. He does X, Y, slot, does it all. Goes in the backfield, does it all. You add in Alec Pierce as a daily in and out guy who's stretching the field, being that X spot. That's going to go that much farther for them.
I mean, you got Shaheed as well. Dawson Knox, 18 mil. Palmer, 12 mil. Samuels, 10 mil.
Dawson Knox is cut for sure.
Yeah, done, gone. Samuel, gone.
Palmer will stick around, but Samuel and Knox are gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, those two are definitely gone. Palmer might be gone too, but if out of the three, he'd be the one to stick around for sure.
By the way, get ready, ladies and gents. I'm just going to remind everybody, franchise tag season has officially begun as of February 17th. As of February 17th.
aka today.
That's today. I think it's today.
Yep.
Sometimes I don't know what
Yeah,
day
it
it
was
is. Let's move on
yesterday.
to number 8. Jalen Phillips, outside linebacker, essentially edge rusher. Predictions re-signing with the Eagles. Now, if they deal AJ Brown, if they cut Dallas Goedert, which is both of those are on the table, that's how it could pave the way. Somehow the Eagles just keep on making cap room and keep on signing and keeping these amazing defensive players, and I think it's going to continue. So is this going to happen? Is he going to stay there, or are they going to risk losing him and bringing in a lower price pass rusher?
Well, here's the thing. The Eagles love to do things like cut half their defense every season. We cover this a lot on my show. They cut half their defense and yet still end up with the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 ranked defense in the NFC.
At least top 5.
Yep. And I think this will be no different. Jalen Phillips, I think, is going to go because they have to keep paying AJ Brown. They have to keep paying. They have to eventually get ready to pay Devontae Smith. They have to keep paying Jalen Hurts. They have to keep paying Saquon Barkley.
Like, you really, I mean, obviously you said it. That's what I'm saying. You're really steadfast that they aren't getting rid of Brown because I don't know, man. I just think it's crazy that I'm not crazy.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense
hard to
to
understand
me.
when the guy fights his quarterback and his fucking coach. It's just crazy that, like, again, the talent deserves to stay, but when I say,
well, it's the offensive system that they were running, but now what they're getting is the former Atlanta Falcon offensive system.
Arthur Smith?
No. The pistol happy Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson,
right.
the system that got Raheem Morris fired.
Yes.
Yeah, the offensive catastrophe that just took place in Atlanta is what's currently going to be taking place in Philadelphia.
They didn't continuously feed Bijan and just had Tyler Algier come in. Like, I'm not saying
no. When it was nothing but when it was nothing but pistol formation every freaking snap.
Correct.
That is what's going to be happening in Philadelphia now. So I don't think it matters who's wide out, who's quarterback, who's running back. It's just going to fail.
Right.
It can't be worse than last year, though.
It can.
Well,
it can.
Rob, we were just explaining.
You're running. No. Yeah, it can.
They're going to be running the Falcons offense from last year.
Better wideouts, better tight ends, better O-line, better similar quarterback play, better running back.
And it was frustrating as fuck.
I think they'll make some adjustments. There's no way. It was bad last year. They were just living on that defense, man. They were living on that defense. That was simple as that.
Me and Mouth are just talking about the straight offensive scheme that they are bringing in now, which is the Falcons scheme from last year. And we watched them struggle with better offensive talent overall, skill-wise, especially
in Atlanta.
Are we trying to say Pachulo had a good scheme last year, though? Like, that was disgusting.
No,
that motherfucker deserved to get fired way sooner than he did. 100%.
I just don't think anyone could be worse than that. That's the worst thing I've seen. And again, Jalen Hurts didn't help the situation. AJ Brown's pouting didn't help the situation.
Well, that was worse than
a shell of himself.
That was worse than the Russian roulette pistol that they were running in Atlanta. Are you sure?
Or the same difference?
I think so.
Because they were pretty close. They were pretty close in how terrible they were. What do you think would be worse? Who do you think would execute the barely loaded pistol better? Atlanta's skill position players or Philadelphia's skill position players?
I would say Atlanta because they have better skill position players.
Exactly. So Atlanta's barely loaded pistol is now going to be running Philly instead of Sirianni's offense.
And I also
or Pachulo's offense.
That Mike Tomlin looked at Atlanta's offense prior to this asshole last year, aka Arthur Smith, and was like, "That's my guy." And here we are. Both don't have a job. Now, of course, Tomlin says that he openly stepped away, but that was just a nice way for the Steelers to have a trade pick for, when they want to get rid of him, or he's ready to coach.
Well, now Arthur Smith can go,
college,
mess up Ohio State.
Yes,
even though I don't think anything can mess up Ohio State.
I laughed so hard, Rob, when I saw that come across my phone. Arthur Smith at Ohio State. I was like, yes, burn in hell, you fucking asshole. You fuck Bijan. So
Look,
bad.
if there is anything that could mess up Ohio State,
Boom,
it's Arthur Smith. If
Oh,
Arthur Smith doesn't mess up Ohio State, then
Mouth. The only way that he could fuck it up more is when he hires Shane Waldron to be his offensive coordinator, or I'm saying his offensive specialist, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, Bray, stop speaking the apocalypse into existence. Next on the list, Rob, please.
Breece Hall. Prediction, re-signing with the Jets. I believe this is a franchise tag situation, personally. Speaking of tag day-to-day, I believe that Breece Hall will get franchise tag before Kenneth Walker. That's my prediction.
Is Breece Hall worth $14 million?
No,
because that's what the franchise tag
is. He's probably not worth signing long-term, at least for the Jets. I don't think the Jets should even worry about a running back at this point because they're dog shit, and they have Braylon Allen, who's super young. They have Isaiah Davis, who they like. They'll probably draft someone else this year. Like, they don't need Breece Hall. That's a luxury pick. That would be a great spot with the Chiefs if they had the money, spots like that, but it's not a necessity for the Jets. That's why I think they tag him, just to have some type of professional back there on offense, because it's literally Garrett Wilson and it's Breece Hall.
And that's
a bunch of young guys. It's going to be a most likely an unproven quarterback unless it's Kyler Murray. But if it is Kyler Murray, you definitely want to get a Breece Hall level running back behind Kyler Murray.
What about that rookie tight end? What about him, huh?
I like Mason Taylor, but he's still a rookie tight end. Well, no, a second-year tight end. But if it's Kyler Murray, all the more reason to tag Breece Hall, right? If they're going to go with an unknown or a random or, stay in house with what they have, which is not Quinn Ewers. It's who the hell is
Davis, you said?
No, I'm talking about the quarterback. Who do they even have?
Oh, God. So right now under
Tyrod
contract.
Taylor, I guess, but
No. Under contract right now. He's a free agent, Tyrod. So right now, under contract, the Jets have Justin Fields and Brady Cook.
Oh,
Brady Cook. That's who I was thinking. Yeah, Jesus. Awful. He's awful.
Sounds like they should trade for Tyson Bagent, baby. Get Agent Bagent in there.
I have heard some rumors about the Bears getting some decent
Arizona, bro. I've been hearing, and so Rob, because they were talking on the radio today, and they're like, "Would you do it for a second rounder?" And it was like, "Fuck yeah!"
People say, "Oh, the Jets should get Malik Willis." That would be a mistake.
Miles, you just covered this one. You wanna tell Jeffrey your theory about Michael Pittman getting cut?
My theory is if Alec Pierce gets retained by the Colts, which I think he will, I think Pittman gets cut. And if Pittman gets cut, I think he immediately gets picked up by the Pittsburgh Steelers to go alongside DK Metcalf and give DK Metcalf a professional wide receiver too to play alongside him so that Calvin Austin could be a 3 and you could have actual fun in Pittsburgh with an actual wide receiver core for the first time in 10 years.
And have the move be the true 4th option, not the second option.
Exactly. Or the first option, which is what he's been for like the past 3 seasons.
Right. There's that, unfortunately, for them.
All right, back
to
I'm sorry,
Jalen Warren.
Oh, God, yeah. Even worse, running back.
He's a guy.
No, but I'm saying
he's a
number receiver who isn't Matt Forte or LT.
Yeah.
What do we think about the chances he's tagged or at least re-signed? And then if not, where's a good spot? I think the Saints might be a good spot for him if they didn't want to, take Jeremiah Love early in the draft.
Go ahead, Mouth.
The Saints make a lot more sense for Breece Hall because he is a do-it-all type of back that a rookie quarterback like Tyler Shuck needs around him. He's exactly the type of player that the Saints can build around that I think it just makes a lot more sense for the Saints. The Saints O-lines and the Saints defensively are in a much better position than the Jets. The Saints are closer to having it together than the Jets are. Look, Chris Olave gets you a lot closer to being a legit team than Garrett Wilson does. I'm sorry. I mean, I know Garrett Wilson is more talented in a way, but Chris Olave just has hands that I've never seen. His catch radius is beyond where it should be for a player his size and his speed and his strength, and having a legit back like Breece Hall there would be a perfect player to help the Saints out. And since Alvin Kamara wants to retire a Saint, to have Alvin Kamara as an RB2 behind Breece Hall takes your running back room from one of the worst in the NFL to something elite.
Especially when you can reconstruct his contract and be able to make more money to get Breece Hall in that room.
Exactly. And Kamara would do that.
100%.
And Kamara would do that.
He would, 100%. Like to your point, he's a Saint. Like I'd be shocked if he doesn't retire as a Saint at this point. Unless this offseason will be it. Like to your point, if they get Breece Hall and he just takes a pay cut and just retires, because of what?
Yeah, he said that's what he wants to do. He wants to be a Saint his whole career. He doesn't want to play for any other team. So if that's the case and the Saints get a Breece Hall, either Alvin Kamara accepts a pay cut, a restructure to be the RB2, or retire. That's it.
Well,
Saints got to
go on. Take a pay cut because the Saints are fun now. Like, I mean, they may not be good, but they're just more exciting than this is the most exciting Saints team since the Drew Brees days.
I think with Breece Hall, they would go from being just fun to being good.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I can agree with
Rob, your thoughts, good sir.
They were fun for 2 weeks with Derek Carr and Clint Kubiak. Remember that? They were the 3-0.
Yeah, I remember.
Hey, that's
they were fun with that.
Maybe there was a Derek Carr time in there, but for 2 weeks out of his 4 or 5 year career. Whoops.
By the way, rumors are looking to be that Derek Carr might end up being the Jets quarterback pretty soon.
That's gross. That is really fucking gross. Dude.
Hey, I mean, it's definitely gross for them and him, but at the same time for him, whatever.
Well,
give me the millions.
Yeah, take your money.
He's got the itch,
But then again, if Derek Carr becomes the quarterback for the Jets, that actually raises that team's prospects by a bunch. Maybe keeps Breece Hall a Jet.
100%.
Would you guys rather have Carr or Kyler Murray?
Carr.
No,
Carr cares about football.
You have no future. I get that, but like Derek Carr is old. He's old.
And
he's
Kyler Murray.
I'll tell you why. I say Carr. I'll tell you why I say Carr. If you're the Jets, you say Carr because then you draft Simpson and let Simpson watch Carr and learn from an NFL quarterback. That's why.
Why am I the highest one in the world on Kyler Murray?
I don't explain. To be honest, I just am a big person that he just doesn't give a fuck about football. That goes a long way for the most important position on the team and in sports. He's just
not put up or shut up time though, right? He's 28 years old. And
he's a
Dynasty,
already.
We talked about this with Chaz. His where do you think he's ranked in Dynasty right now? Quarterback what?
It's higher than I'm going to give a higher number than I would think. He's probably 15.
What do you think, Mouth?
I wouldn't know. I'm not a Dynasty.
Yeah, I literally have no idea.
Quarterback.
Well, think about it. Quarterback, where would he be ranked in Dynasty at quarterback, right? You got to factor in young quarterbacks, aging quarterbacks. He's right in the middle.
So 15 to 20, I'd say. I don't know. Somewhere right in there, though.
Quarterback 12.
Quarterback 21.
So, yeah. But still, that's
a fucking steal in Dynasty.
Yeah.
I hate Kyler Murray. I think he's terrible. I just know that he has been good for fantasy.
Kyler Murray could end up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I think that would make the most sense for him. Put him with Stefanski.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, put him with Stefanski.
Good offense.
Murray's got a big enough arm.
Jeffrey, the Colts are definitely going to regret trading Adonai Mitchell. They're going to regret
yes.
that whole trade in general. Even without Adonai Mitchell in that trade, it was a bad trade.
And that's why I say Carr for the Jets, because Wilson, Mitchell, John Mechie's there and still under contract. They got a nice little receiver core with Taylor. If they retain Hall and get Derek Carr, they got something on offense.
Good call. Jeffrey would rather have Derek Carr because he brings leadership. That's what Kyler Murray does not bring. My point is Kyler Murray is 28 years old, and there's a chance he could be a reclamation project. And we've seen rip on Kyler Murray for being small, rip on him for being bad the last couple of years. Also had the ACL, but
he can't handle New
way
York
better
City.
Prospect than all these other guys, though. All these other guys
He
like
can't
Sam
handle
Darnold
New York City
and Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield. Like, who was a better prospect,
Rob,
Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield?
Those guys
Kyler
care
Murray.
more.
Kyler Murray.
Those guys care way more. They
Hold
love
on,
football.
Ray.
But there is
Ray.
a chance he might care, though, going forward. He wants to make money, doesn't he?
I agree with that.
Multi-millionaire, and he could become a millionaire by just doing his fucking streaming on Twitch.
Ray, while I agree with you there, here's what I'm going to say. New York City is completely different. I don't think Kyler Murray's mental is going to be able to handle New York City.
Atlanta,
Kyler Murray couldn't handle Oklahoma City.
So
Oklahoma City,
here's what I'm saying. He would have a mental breakdown, end up addicted to like 15 different drugs, and like start shaking back and forth after about 3 press conferences with New York City media. It wouldn't be good.
Oh, it's so funny because you're 100% right. Because like here in Chicago, as much as people know that we're one of the biggest cities, fans and in the media, like if you try and you're bad, we still like you. Look, aka Brian Scalabrine, dude was a fucking superstar on the Bulls. Just saying.
New York, we don't give a damn about you.
Comment. Dakota wants to know if you're going to be Mouth, are you going to be donating your money in Dynasty this season or every season actually because it's Dynasty?
Donating? You mean withdrawing? Yes, I'll be withdrawing money.
Ooh, all right. Dakota's in. Ray's in. Ray, you're sharing a team with Chaz. I'm sharing a team with Storey. And then Tom and Nick O are sharing a team. It's 12 teams. We're going to do 10 teams. We're going up to 12. No super flex, but really, really, really deep rosters, folks. So you better know ball. I know Mouth knows ball. I know Ray knows ball. I know Dakota knows ball. I think most of the guys in this league, obviously pretty hardcore, watching the show in fucking February. So that says a lot about our audience. So it's going to be a fun league. This is a good one. Kyler Murray seems like a Cleveland Brown.
That's what I'm going to say. The Chaz Raider.
Think about this. They went.
No, that's Shador's house. That's Shador's house.
This is the same franchise that went all in on Deshaun Watson amidst a bunch of allegations, the injury, suspension, you name it. Like, and again, Deshaun Watson had a better peak than Kyler Murray. Definitely a better prospect, bigger, stronger, all those things. But Kyler Murray, I feel like they had similar careers. You know, put Houston's Deshaun Watson against Kyler Murray in Arizona. Like, they were both relatively successful. They both put up some pretty good numbers. They were both in the MVP discussions for parts of the year. So this makes a lot of sense. They do have Shador Sanders. I don't know. Mal, do you think they actually believe in Shador, or is this just like a smokescreen?
Prime is there converting them all to Christianity and God and Jesus and good financial planning and clean living. Deion Sanders is there whipping them all into shape as we speak, along with Todd Monken. That is Shador Sanders' team. They don't have time for Call of Duty. They only have time for prayer and football.
Okay.
Now, Kyler Murray is not going to be welcome in the new Cleveland Browns organization, which will only last for about 2 years. So in 2 years, Kyler Murray will be a Cleveland Brown.
Apparently, I'm the biggest Kyler Murray fan in the world now, which is funny because I named him the Garden Gnome. I've been critical of Kyler Murray. You know, my first co-host on the show, Kappa, was the biggest Kyler fan. This is dating back 5 years ago. Thought he was the next big thing. So I had to hear all about Kyler Murray for years. I was always ripping on Kyler Murray forever. Even coming out of college, I didn't like him. But now, apparently, it's like the stock has gone. He's a penny stock right now.
No,
and he used to be Microsoft.
All I'm saying is Kyler Murray's home is the Atlanta Falcons, where he has nice big receivers to throw it to and a Bijan Robinson to run RPOs with, and a team where he could be successful and win the Super Bowl with athletes that are just as freakish as him.
So, Robbie, of course, here's the thing is that, I fucking hate Kyler Murray because I picked him as my quarterback 1 in XFL with Drake May as my quarterback 2. And what happened to Ray? I overthought things. Drake May had one bad week. I drop him. You pick him up. You let him you help your team. Thank God I picked up Stafford to help me win. You know what Kyler Murray did? Sat on the free agent wire for the rest of the year. Guy's a bum. He should have fucking stuck to baseball, make way more money, been in a Las Vegas athletic at this point. It made a lot more money.
Jeffrey says Kyler Murray has only had 3 bad seasons. If you look at the numbers, Well, that's actually
Unfortunately,
pretty big
they were the
percentage
last
of his career.
two.
But they
Three
were
out
the
of
last
four.
three, trending
Three out of four.
down. No, he's had 4 good seasons, but it's trending down. It's 3 of the last 4 seasons have been his bad seasons, and this last season was pathetic. It was downright pathetic. He wasn't running. Now, whether that was him not calling his own number or the coaches not telling him to run, it was probably a combination of both because Drew Petzing is a fucking moron. It was probably a combination of both.
Thank you,
things.
Packers.
Oh God, you gotta Chicago Bears fans, Green Bay Packers fans, Minnesota Vikings fans. You should all thank the Detroit Lions for being for remaining the dumb organization that they've always historically been by hiring Drew Petzing to be their offensive coordinator.
So you go to Ben Johnson to the guy last year to this guy. My God.
You go from Ben Johnson to Ben Johnson's mentor to that.
Maybe Dan.
Let me ask you guys this:
too many beers. I don't know.
Kyler Murray or Malik Willis? If you're looking, if it's the Dolphins, right? The Dolphins gonna cut 2 of them most likely.
Murray.
Well, Malik Willis is going to fetch some good money, and he's the hot commodity. I think that Malik Willis is that mystery box, right, where it's like he could have upside, where Kyler Murray is the old, disgusting, hated, you want to call him a veteran at 28 years old. That's what he is.
Yeah, but
Malik Willis is going to fetch a bag. We didn't talk about Malik Willis, but it's most certainly
not
gonna be
yet.
Miami,
But
right?
he's on this list, I think. If he's not, I'd be shocked.
He probably just missed it. Aaron Rodgers was somehow 10. I think that Malik Willis should have been 10. So let's talk about Malik Willis.
Give me Malik over that fucking bum.
Well,
Malik Willis cares about football. I'm sticking to it. Kyler Murray just lost me, man. He just doesn't give a shit. It's just very upsetting. You too can convince yourselves that the bag and the money all on the line. And you know what? You may be 1,000,000 cajillion% right, because that's usually how athletes work. When they know that this is their last gas to stick around to make the bag, they all of a sudden turn up and have their best career year. So you know what? We mark this, and you guys may be able to tell me to eat crow, because you guys might be 100% right. Kyler Murray might turn around and be a top 12 quarterback next year.
All right, then, Ray, I'm going to tell you. Then I'm going to tell you, bro. Then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just very, very kindly and nicely tell you that it doesn't matter how nice or how wonderfully intentioned somebody is. If somebody has more talent, they're going to make more money. And if somebody has more talent, they're going to perform better. Kyler Murray has more talent than Malik Willis. When Malik Willis goes to Miami, he's going to get his shit kicked in, and he'll be out of the league in 2 years after he makes a bag of money, which congratulations to Malik Willis. He's going to make a whole bag of money, and I'm glad for him. But he's going to be done.
I just want to say one in your mouth. You're probably correct. But there's one thing that you two said about Kyler Murray that it just really like irks the shit out of me, because there's a one player that I have a special place in my heart for who's trash that was in said conversation. You both mentioned that Kyler Murray for 1 year was maybe admittedly, maybe you guys said multiple years, but I could have swore you both at least said 1 year MVP candidate for part of the year.
He was a front runner. They were 7-1.
Okay, well then that's fair, because I was about to say Rex Grossman was in the MVP candidate conversation the year the Bears went to the Super Bowl.
Look, Daniel Jones was in the MVP conversation this year until he busted his leg.
No, but okay? I'm saying Mouth. He's 100%. It was that's what I was going to bring up. It was only September, but he said they were 7-1. Way different. That's
should have been 8-1. If you remember the game, that was a DeAndre Hopkins. It was pass interference. It got picked by the Packers. It was a Thursday night game, and they would have been 8-1. It was a bullshit call. I'm just saying, like, the what ifs of.
No, but that's way different than Rex Grossman for the first month.
If they were 8-1, and then they went to shit.
We got Malik Willis has played less games than Shedeur Sanders. That is absolutely not true. Malik Willis was the starter for the Tennessee Titans for a year before they drafted Will Levis.
Correct.
He didn't play that many games. Didn't he play like 9 games?
Yeah.
I guess that would still be more than Shedeur Sanders.
Correct. Yeah, with this year and that. Yeah. He's still.
So he played 9 games for the Titans.
5 games for the Packers, right? 2 and 3.
He's played 5 games for the Packers. He's played 9 games for the Titans for a total of 13 games. I believe he has a 500 record. He's thrown more TDs than interceptions, and I believe with his combined performance between Packers and Titans, he's thrown about 65% completion percentage.
Malik
That's how bad he was as a Titan.
Absolute dog shit with the Titans.
Terrible.
And this is my Anthony Richardson love, right? And another guy I love, just in terms of dynasty and buying low on these guys. You're getting him for nothing, right? Malik Willis was much worse for the Titans than Anthony Richardson was with the Colts. And Richardson was actually a way younger prospect. And yes, he had higher hype, right? Higher expectations based on where he was drafted. Malik Willis
was only 20 when he came in, right, Rob?
Yeah, 20. And Malik Willis was an end of the first round pick, where Richardson was, what you want to call a lottery pick. It was the NBA. Anthony Richardson is definitely way more talented than Malik Willis. So it's like, we just saw, here's the thing. Was this Matt LaFleur with Malik Willis, or was this Malik Willis? I always liked Malik Willis coming out of college. I know he was going to be a project. I'm just saying, I think this was more Matt LaFleur than Malik Willis.
I also have never seen Anthony Richardson throw anything close to beautiful balls accurately and on time in stride that I saw Malik Willis do on the Packers. Now, admittedly, that is probably a LaFleur thing that helped make him better at all that. But at the same time, I'm just saying what I saw from Malik Willis on the Packers, I never saw from Anthony Richardson throwing wise.
Well, yeah, because Anthony Richardson maybe played 12 games at the position of quarterback before he hit the NFL. Played Not in college. I'm talking about in high school and in college combined. He played a total of 12 starts at the position of quarterback before he was ever. This is why people were wondering why Indy drafted Anthony Richardson so highly in the first place. So that was the entire reason everybody was so puzzled over the Richardson pick. But this is why Richardson's also sitting and developing behind every other quarterback, and why Indy hasn't given up on him yet, because he was such a project quarterback. It's the same as Malik Willis. These kinds of guys need time to sit and watch and get practice reps in the NFL with NFL defenses and NFL coaching staffs and all this other stuff. Should they have been first-round picks? No, they should have never been first-round picks. But they picked them because of their physical potential and their physical gifts. You're starting to see that with Willis. Hopefully, you'll start to see that with Richardson down the line.
I just don't think you will. I think he sucks, to be honest. Like, he has no awareness, holds the ball too long, and he's super inaccurate. He's really athletic and can run the ball, and he's big. Cool. He's injury-prone as hell.
Yeah,
honestly,
like I said, 13. Why would you draft a quarterback that only had 12 starts in the NFL before you even bring him back?
Why the hell was what's his name? LaMarcus Russell picked first overall because he threw a ball 70 yards in the fucking air on his knee. That's the only.
Jamarcus Russell actually had an entire college career before he was drafted. That actually made sense more than Anthony Richardson, 11 starts at the actual position of quarterback, right?
I know football way more now than I did then. I could tell that dude, okay, yeah, he had a good college career, but
he's also fat as shit.
In the NFL. There are many things, and all I knew is that he had a really strong arm, and it was the same. You know what? He paved the way for Zach Wilson to get drafted second overall. Throwing the ball 70 yards in the air on the run, that in shorts and a t-shirt is what got him drafted second overall for
really. If anything, that should have stopped. If anything, that should have stopped Zach Wilson from getting drafted. But unfortunately, Ray, we're talking about the. Unfortunately, Ray, we're talking about the New York fucking Jets. Sexy Rexy was robbed of a Heisman. Go Gators! This is from my man Dakota.
Yeah, hey, he was, man, back in them days.
Ray, all those things you said about Anthony Richardson, though, were also true for Malik Willis. Like,
I know.
It was worse in Tennessee. I guess really the counter to that is Anthony Richardson had a much better situation in Indianapolis than Malik had in Tennessee, right? He had weapons. Yep. Shane Steichen. So they were kind of tailoring their offense because he came directly after coaching Jalen Hurts. He came to literally install that offense that worked really well with a mobile quarterback with Anthony. That's the problem with Anthony Richardson. But I think Anthony Richardson was so young, so raw,
And
so
that's what
inexperienced,
Yes.
and over his head. But Malik Willis, I'm saying Malik Willis showed us a lot. And if we're trying to say Malik Willis is going to bust in Miami, why can't Anthony Richardson go to a team, marinate a little bit, get some spot starts under a Sean McVay, and just an example of a creative head coach, someone like that, and become a thing again? Because the physical gifts, as much as I think Malik Willis is a very talented player, Anthony Richardson there's a reason he was drafted so high. It's because he was a combine hero. The NFL had never, Cam Newton, go through all these guys, Michael Vick, Anthony Richardson was a cut above all those guys athletically, arm strength, any drill you could have, any metric, dude. It was unreal. And there's a reason that was a bad pick, but like you could see why these GMs and these teams fell in love with that, because if you can harness it, right? If you can make it work, you have yourself a all-time level talent.
That's just the hardest part, though. Dude, the NFL is like, when you and I and Mouth can come up with, we can sit here for hours and hours and hours, a whole 24 hours straight.
No, Ray, we're not gonna sit here for hours and hours. I'm gonna justify this to you right now. Okay.
Please.
You want to know why Indy is stupid and made the wrong pick with a guy like Anthony Richardson, and why Seattle is genius for a pick like Jalen Moreau, who, if you look at him, is very similar to Anthony Richardson. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Moreau, his situation is, no matter whether it was going to be Geno Smith or Sam Darnold or whoever Seattle was signing at quarterback, you knew Seattle was going to sign a starting quarterback for the raw and very talented, by the way, arm strength of a god, legs like you wouldn't believe, field vision when it comes to running the football like you couldn't imagine, just holds on to the ball too long. You know, the same problems that you have with Richardson, right? Same problems that you would have with Jalen Moreau, except Seattle drafted him in a situation where you knew he was going to sit down and watch for about 3 years, while a guy like Darnold or a guy like Geno was going to be starting, versus the Colts, who drafted Anthony Richardson in a top 6 pick situation where you expected him to start right away. That was the difference between the pick of Jalen Moreau, where same idea as Richardson, raw, talented, all the physical gifts you could ever expect, but needs to learn how to play the position of quarterback, versus Anthony Richardson, same situation. The only difference is you drafted Anthony Richardson 6th overall versus Jalen Moreau in the 3rd, 4th round. Rob, what was that pick?
I think it was late second.
Or something like that.
I don't like Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe's tiny. That's the one concern, is he's tiny. Like Malik Willis is somewhat short, but he is super beefy. Milroe's a little bit bigger than a Kyler Murray, right, in terms of like thickness. He's too small. Alabama quarterbacks, like, look who he was playing with in college. I have no hope for Jalen Milroe at all. And again, I'm not going to put too much stock in preseason stuff. But if you watch Jalen Milroe in the preseason, that was just rough, bro. He is years away. It's years away, donkey.
Real quick.
Yeah, but it was the same thing. Years away for freaking Richardson, too. But you needed to start him right away because you picked him 6th.
But Mouth, here's the big difference, though, is what you two are like not wanting to at least admit. You both know that, and you know it. There are not even 32 starting worthy quarterbacks in the NFL, and you guys are going to sit here and talk about admittedly, the quarterback. No, there's not. No, there isn't.
Yes, there are.
No, there isn't.
You got two. You got some on some teams. You got 2 of them sitting on one roster, and you have like 3 of them on. You have 3 backups on others. That's why.
Okay, so maybe there's 32. That's still trash.
You have 32. It's just like, for example, San Francisco is 2.
It's pathetic. The 32. There's not. I want an average of like 15 quarterbacks that are interchangeable, at least maybe outside of like the top 7 that are really good, like we grew up with. That shit's long gone. I understand the quarterback position is completely different. My main point is, though, is that what I'm mainly getting at with this whole thing is that with these athletic quarterbacks, these guys, much or more often than not, are able to survive with their athletic abilities to get to where they have gotten and then learn football from there.
Ray, Ray, we got to get to our comments here. We got Shedeur Sanders. He's another guy that needs to sit and watch because he has a lot of bad habits. Absolutely right. Shedeur does have a lot of bad habits. He's got a lot of good habits too, though. The one thing I like about Shedeur is he knows how to look off defenders. I've seen him look off defenders at an elite level. I've also seen him screw up plays, but I've also seen him look off defenders, which I give him credit for that. He's got a great deep ball. He's got great deep ball accuracy too. I just need him to get the timing throws right.
What about running back 30 yards and then taking a sack?
Yeah, that too. I need to, like I said, I need him to get the timing. I need him to get the timing throws right. That's all a part of getting the timing throws right. Because if he doesn't get the timing throw right, he runs backwards for 30 yards and then takes a sack instead of, just getting the timing throw right. Getting the timing route correct.
I think he has way too much ego for his skill level, and that was my concern coming into the draft. Obviously, you saw it through the draft process with just how they handled everything and whether that was his dad in his ear or him. There's also a point where Shedeur, grow up, you're a big boy. I don't care if your dad's Deion Sanders. Tell your dad to shut the fuck up. I'm doing what's best for me. I'm going to listen to what the people in my corner. Unfortunately, he wasn't allowed to have anyone in his corner besides his dad. Go through the draft process. You ain't better than anyone else. All these other guys, Mendoza's going through the draft process. He's in an all-time bad quarterback class. He's number 1 pick by a mile. He doesn't do anything. He's going to do all the interviews because that's what you fucking do. Like, you're not better than everyone. And Shedeur Sanders, yes, he probably wasn't worthy of a 5th-round pick, probably more of a 3rd-round pick in reality. But I don't ever see the growth. It won't come for him because he's not going to put the work in. We want to bitch about Kyler Murray being like that. Shedeur Sanders is going to have that same exact thing. No one's going to want to fucking play with him, and I have no hope for Shedeur.
And real quick, Rob. Hey, Mouth.
Disagree.
Okay, Mouth. You know what? Here's the big difference, though. Caleb Williams came into the league. Everybody who knew about him, his family, this and that, they didn't want to do anything to do with the Bears. He will be the next Eli Manning. He's going to choose where the fuck he wants to go. This and that, this and that, this and that. And you know what? After that first season, maybe he should have did that. But here we are. Everything's all roses and everything is
exactly.
Great.
Go out there and do it. Go out there and do the work.
But here's the main difference is what I'm getting at is that Caleb Williams has the talent to be a fucking prima donna. Shedeur does not. I'm with Rob. Sorry.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Shedeur has to go out there. The one thing I won't discredit Shedeur for is he will go out and do the work. Does he have the talent to go behind the work? That's what we're going to find out. The one thing the kid does is work his ass off. That's the one thing. The kid's motor is beyond belief. I've seen Shedeur Sanders. I've seen Shedeur Sanders hold the ball on a screen instead of throwing it. He's holding it. Yeah, absolutely right. He is holding the ball. You're absolutely right. He's holding the ball. He's not reading routes. He didn't run Stefanski's offense properly. And that's why Stefanski's gone.
Which was fucking dumb on their end.
I think the only redeeming quality for me that I actually do love and respect from Shedeur is his toughness. Dude is tough as nails. You saw it in Colorado. That is where he is elite. He's fine. He can be a decent starting quarterback as a game manager. He could be a Derek Carr is his ceiling, maybe his ceiling, but that's not.
And he's got a nice deep ball. Though. Like that's the one thing that'll give him over other game managers is that if you give him a running game, he's got a deep ball where you could work play action with the guy. And he's got a nice little connection with Harold Fannin.
Rob, who also had a really good deep ball. What was his name?
Anthony Richardson?
Sexy Rexy. That's it.
Rex did. Anthony Richardson has the best deep ball, but that doesn't matter because if you can't hit the underneath throws. Now, Shedeur can't hit the underneath throws. I'm just kind of joking about that. But let's get to our last name here. We have one. Well,
no, I'm actually half and half. Can Shedeur hit the underneath throws? I'm actually half and half on that. That's half his problem.
He's got to throw it too. He holds on the ball.
Yeah, too much.
Last name, Aaron Rodgers. So this one's pretty much set in stone because is the other destination that I could see making sense is the Vikings. We saw this last year with the rumors, but they didn't want to put JJ through that, right? They didn't want to put the pressure on him, which they should have done. And this year it could happen, but I think McCarthy being hired there pretty much screams Aaron Rodgers is going to go back to the Steelers or retire. I think those are the two options.
Yeah, I think, like we said earlier, they were both in the ayahuasca box together in South America. They took a little trip to the shit box where they ate the shrooms and had a wonderful time together. They got over all their problems, and they created a brand new offensive game plan that didn't involve throwing it to the tight end 25,000 times, or no motion offense with because my God, Aaron Rodgers over the past no wonder he went to ayahuasca houses and got high. He was running Nathaniel Hackett's plays and then Arthur Smith's plays. I'm surprised he didn't end up just stuck in one of those ayahuasca houses for more than just a week.
Get stuck in the ayahuasca
poor
hole.
guy.
You know how they say like the
Yeah.
K-hole.
I have a cutaway.
Ayahuasca
I have a
hole.
cutaway for Nathaniel Hackett. This is
Oh, boy.
Nathaniel Hackett currently.
Simple Jack, the story of a mentally impaired farmhand who can talk to animals, was a box office disaster that many critics called one of the worst movies of all time.
Got a good brain.
I think you've got a fine brain, Jack.
You make me happy.
But now the question is, can speed...
I thought that was the cutaway for Matt Patricia.
Well, the big problem is he went full R word. You just don't do that. But Nathaniel Hackett, Shane Waldron, those guys from that under that Packer tree, they really maybe follow Aaron Rodgers.
No. Those guys, no.
Ayahuasca.
Look, those guys are sitting with Pete Carroll right now somewhere making macaroni sculptures.
Matt Patricia, notably pencil in his ear with a laminated play sheet. Gotta love that. It should be a crayon though.
You mean when he was gnawing on the lead?
On the lead. No one anywhere near the NFL is allowed to have a crayon. They're scared of Cam Scadaboo trying to come eat it off their ear. It would be very bad.
He does like those things. So, is there a chance that Aaron Rodgers is going to go anywhere else but the Steelers or retire, or is it just that? Is that the two options? Is the Vikings in play? I guess is what I'm getting at here.
The Vikings could be in play. Look, I wouldn't doubt it, and I'll tell you why. J.J. McCarthy is the worst thing they ever could have done, and they'll throw money at anything that would fix that problem. And it's either Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, or J.J. McCarthy. One of the three.
Max Brosmer, too.
Oh, good God.
That was a joke. That was crickets.
Tyler Badgett. How about Tyler Badgett?
Hey, first off, it's Taysom Bagent and it's Agent Bagent for you, my friend. And on
Agent
top of that,
Bagent.
Agent Bagent, yeah. Hey,
Agent Bagent, he's a hero, gonna bring the Vikings down to 0.
Hey, I got something for you, Ray. I got something for you.
Oh.
What do you think Bagent could fetch in the open market? Because people like him. He seems like the ultimate backup, but I feel like people could see him as a starter. Could he get a 4th round pick or maybe a 3rd round, or is that too?
I've heard as high as a 2nd. To be honest, I've heard.
That's crazy though.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying.
Mouth,
I've heard.
is the 2nd round crazy? 3rd round fair, or is that
crazy?
too much?
I've heard. I'm just saying.
I mean, 3rd round is fine. 3rd round is definitely fine because Bagent has a deep ball. Bagent can throw the timing routes, and he's got a little bit of movement to him.
You know what I want to do? I want to trade Bagent for a 3rd round pick, and I want to trade for Richardson and give a 5th round pick for Anthony Richardson. I'm just saying, Ben Johnson is that level of coordinator. I know it's not exactly the. You don't want to back up. He's not. Caleb is not just a statue though. So it's not like
him still okay. He's here.
I feel like that's that ultimate sell high in your backup quarterback who you signed to a nice contract, which would be good for a start. Someone else is going to overvalue him because he's so cheap. And if they want to see him as their starter, and you get 2 rounds of value, and you bring in a guy like Anthony Richardson, who was literally a top 6 pick in the NFL draft.
Well, and on top of everything, the Bears, if everybody doesn't know this, like who aren't Bears fans here, our backup quarterback was an undrafted rookie out of Division 3, right? Division 2. He's a top Division 2 quarterback, and when they're
a second is the most Bears homer statement that Dakota has ever heard.
That was pretty homerish, bro.
I just told you what I fucking heard. I'm not saying that it was.
Well, you heard it. You heard it in Chicago Sports Talk Radio, right?
From people who are insiders, not just people on the radio. But yeah, like
that sounds like hopium.
Insiders.
No shit. everybody knows it's all fucking like screen, mirrors and all that, bullshit. Yeah, I understand that. I'm just because of course they're saying that. So
Mac Jones can't get a second.
I'm just saying they're saying okay.
Mac Jones couldn't get a second, Ray.
If I have to explain this to you, then you should have your own damn sports fucking talk show, my friend. It's all political bullshit.
I actually did on WFAN for an episode or two. So
no, I'm more just saying.
Mouth was actually the one that reported that Bajan's going to go for a second rounder.
Yeah,
undercover.
It was. Yeah, that's right. I did
Time machine.
It's all me.
It's just for some.
I have instant transmission. I'm like Goku from Dragon Ball.
Oh, well, there you go. Now, mind you. Now, again, Dakota, mind you.
Don't make me Kamehameha you.
You may have to, but no, Dakota. I was listening to ESPN 1000, which is the Bears channel. So where the Bears radio is on. So yes, this is what I'm getting at is that when they say a second, that's just putting out smoke screens for other teams being like, oh, well, if we want them, we may have to give them a second. In reality, I think a fourth is probably right. A fourth and a low third is right in the actual area. If they do trade them, what they'll get back. A second, dude, on the Dakota, I didn't actually even say what they were saying on the radio. The fucking idiots on the radio were saying a first rounder. And it's like, okay. If a team offers a first rounder, fucking run to the hills immediately and trade. Like that's never gonna
let's tie a bow on this free agency and then Aaron Rodgers. So it's the Vikings. Is there any other team, Mouth, Ray, that you could see Aaron Rodgers going to?
No. The team in the sky.
A semi-contender.
The Jets?
Oh, God.
That would be the funniest shit of all time. And
that would be the best.
If he led them to the playoffs somehow or another out of his ass. I know it wouldn't happen. I'm just saying some way or another pulled it out of his ass just to shove it up the old coaching staff's ass. That they're now gone.
If the Bears beat the Packers in the playoffs again, he's just going to come back to Green Bay for one season and one season only.
No, for just the playoffs. So you guys make the playoffs, bring me back for the playoffs, and I will literally train the whole year for this one game and kill them.
Yeah, exactly. That would be exactly what happens.
Or I'll assassinate Ben Johnson for you guys and just be done with it.
What? No, we're
right,
not
guys,
assassinating Ben Johnson. No. And with that,
I don't want that mouth. I'm just saying he's cynical enough that he might be okay with that.
Oh, good.
All right,
God.
gentlemen. Mouth, give the people a minute on downtown, why they should tune in, where they can find you. It's every Tuesday night, guys, 2-hour show or so, just once a week.
Yep. Every Tuesday night we record, we release it just about every Tuesday, Wednesday. Find us on 23 different platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify for podcasters. Pretty much wherever you get your podcasts, you'll find us. Interviews, rants, specials, shows. Basically, we talk NBA, NFL, MLB, whatever you want. We're Downtown Sports. We are where sports come home. We interview the best broadcasters in the business. We interview guys like Rob, like Ray. We bring the best experts in fantasy, the best experts in NBA, best experts in sports, all to you, all for free, every single week for the past 5 years, coming up on our 6-year anniversary in April.
Congrats, man. Plus, on top of it,
6 years, man.
You got a hell of a co-host, my man.
East of the East is the best. Yep. East of the East is the best. And and if you want to find out more about all the free agents we spoke about, plus some more deep dive, all the info you want to hear about all these guys, that's what this week's episode of Downtown Sports is about. Get all the info you need to know about NFL free agency. Franchise tags start, I believe, now it is yesterday, the 17th. So the NFL offseason, and, well, the new season begins now, boys. The offseason's over.
Yes, sir.
New season's begun. Let the games begin. Franchise tagging starts now.
I'll let all
I'm ready,
the other
boys. We got combine.
Out.
We got combine. We have free agency. We have draft. And then right after that, the season kind of creeps up fast. At least for me, I'm already doing best balls starting in May. You'll be seeing
That's
those
wow.
pretty much every single night.
All these other sports in America just eat their hearts out. The NFL just reigns supreme no matter what. A game will not be played for another 8 months or,
money.
6 months.
Yeah. All the NFL does is print money. They get coverage and they print money.
Fact.
That's the NFL. That's downtown sports. That's where sports come home. This is the Professional Fanatics. Rob, thank you for having me on, bro.
Yes, sir. For John, for Ray,
John,
Rob, great show. Tomorrow we'll be on. The Chaz will be on for the Dynasty Diner every Wednesday at 10. Probably another show or two to kind of cap off the week. Maybe talk some more free agents. Maybe on a more fantasy angle for that. Look for that in the Discord if you're in there. If you're not in there, go to professionalfanatics.com. Get your ass in the community. It's a great community. Thank you, Mouth. Thank you, Ray. I'll be talking to you guys soon. Love your life. Stay positive and respect each other. We're out of here.
You seem like a good dude. I thought I'd see if you wanted to grab a beer, that's all. I'm glad you called. We get home safe, Pistol.
You got it, Jobin.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
Oh, what'd you say?
I don't know. You nicknamed me Pistol, and I just called you Jobin. It means nothing. I'm drunk. I'm gonna call a cab.
All right, man. You have my number, yeah?
I got you stored in my iPhone.
All right.